Hey, I'm Orfeb, this is Fotzets Nicolau, and in this series of videos, we're discussing why men over 30 who have been training for a while and are careful with their diets, they still don't look great naked. Now, I have recorded 3 videos so far, and today we're gonna discuss the 4th reason why. Okay, now, the 4th reason is this: incorrect exercise execution. And before you shut this video down shouting to me, oh, that's one of the most unsexy things ever, I'm already executing my exercises perfectly, yeah, blah blah blah, yeah, hear me out. Okay, there's a difference between executing an exercise correctly for a body, and there's a difference between that and between executing an exercise correctly for your body. And let me give you 2 great examples that illustrate this point. Now, number one, for whatever reason, either since birth or after an accident, some people might have one foot that's a little bit taller than the other foot. So, for example, I'm not sure what's the orthopedic term for this, but if one foot is like 2 feet tall, then the other foot might be 2 feet 1. Okay? Again, we're not sure exactly why, but that actually happens. We're not born perfectly balanced, okay? Some people might have scoliosis, okay, but that's another example. Now, let's stick to the foot example. Now, since one foot is taller, then your pelvis is not gonna be balanced, okay? So it's gonna be a little bit like that. So it's gonna be tilted to the other on one side. And that's gonna affect the rest of your body. Now, you might wonder, what does this have to do with exercise execution? Well, the truth is it has to do everything. For example, this guy who has this imbalance in his foot, if he were to execute a deadlift, then he's gonna, like they say that you should execute a deadlift that's perfect for a body's anatomy, then he's gonna have a problem. Why? Well, because the typical form when executing the deadlift is that you put, for example, your feet, okay, there should be in line, okay? But since one foot is a little bit taller than the other one, when you are gonna execute the deadlift with your feet in line, this creates an imbalance in the rest of your spine, and it might lead to some maybe low back pain, to some other kind of joint pain, etc., etc. Why? Because you didn't take into consideration this imbalance of your body. You actually tried to follow the normal way of executing an exercise, which doesn't really fit your body. So, in this case, a solution for you, if you had this kind of imbalance, would be to take the one foot and just put it a little bit in front of the other foot. And this will help you feel better when executing the exercise because, again, we're taking into consideration this imbalance of your body. So that was example number one. Another example that I have here is especially with tall guys, okay? Anyone who's like 6 feet plus, okay? Now, um, since you're a little bit taller than most guys, then you might have seen that exercise don't really work the same way they do for shorter guys. Okay, and again, if you're not tall yourself, you might not have experienced this. I am 6'1" myself, and some exercises that other shorter guys consider must do are not that good for me. I don't really feel them to my muscles, so I have to tweak the way I perform them. So a very good example for this might be any kind of pressing exercise. So that might be a bench press, a shoulder press, or whatever. If you're a tall guy and if you especially you have long arms, you will notice that you do not actually need a full ROM, aka range of motion, when you're performing an exercise. So yeah, I'm not gonna show how you're gonna see this with the video, but for example, if we were gonna if we're gonna bench press something, you don't actually have to fully extend your arms if you're very tall and or if you have long arms. Okay, you might not actually feel this exercise working your chest. You might feel it somewhere else, but not in your chest. So for you, for your body specifically, a better solution would be to maybe minimize the ROM a little bit. So instead of fully extending your arms, you might extend them like 90% or 80%, depending on, yeah, again, how you feel this exercise. So again, that's an example of how there's a difference between how bodies in general should perform an exercise and how you should actually perform an exercise based on your unique needs. So yeah, this can actually affect, okay, your muscle building goals, because if you are not executing an exercise correctly for your body, then you know what, you might not be able to lift a ton of weight in the example of the deadlift, because okay, you will feel pain, and this is gonna, I mean, affect how much weight you use, so you won't be strong and you won't be able to build muscle. Or if you have, for example, tall limbs or whatever, then you might not fully feel the exercise working the muscle, which is another very important concept when trying to build a really nice body. So yeah, again, there are other ways to say that exercise execution is important. I mean, most guys, for example, they might not extend their arms when they're doing curls. Instead, they might do something that resembles like they're, I don't know, air fucking something. Yeah, I mean, that's also one example. But most guys, yeah, they have good execution, but not good enough for their bodies. So that's something that you need to take into consideration when you are not only just creating a program, but also when you are actually performing an exercise. Now, I cannot actually give you suggestions, because okay, that's something that I do for my coaching clients. But if an exercise for whatever reason feels wrong to you, okay, so if it actually causes some kind of pain for you, okay, you actually need to take a step back, maybe record yourself. That's something that I tell to my coaching clients to do, that whenever they feel pain in an exercise, I want them to record themselves doing it and send me the video. Okay, so you might actually want to record yourself and see, okay, maybe you're not performing the exercise correctly, or if you are performing it with great form, then for whatever reason, this exercise might not just be for your body. I mean, yeah, and in this case, you need to substitute the exercise. Or if, for example, you're not feeling an exercise working the muscle that you want to work, especially in isolation exercises, then you need again to take a look into, okay, the execution of the exercise. Okay, are you doing it with picture perfect form? If yes, okay, then it might not be good for your body, like the example of the tall lifters that I mentioned. And as you can probably see, there are a lot of ways that you can mess up exercise execution, even if you think that you're doing it perfectly. You might be doing it perfect for in general, but you might not be doing it perfect for your body in specifically. Okay, Omar fam. So that's all I have to say, and I will talk to you